What's good, y'all? I hope everybody's living well and staying blessed. It's your boy, Marcus B. As always, I'm with the one and only Mr. Evan Simmons, and this is episode 28. Dang, coming up on 30. Shout out. It's episode 28 of Holla at Your Boy, and today I sat down with a close friend and colleague, Miss Elena Martell. She's an middle school orchestra / elementary orchestra director here in town, and we talked about all things. She just bought a house, which is super dope because she's only 24. So now she's a homeowner, which is wild. We talk about education. We talk about her being a female in the orchestra world, as well as just being what it means to be a Mexican American and all these other really nuanced and interesting topics. So I hope you guys enjoy the conversation because it was a great one so far. As always, if you like what we're doing out here, make sure you like, follow, subscribe, share to all the homies. We're at like 98 subscribers. We're so close to that hundo. So help your boy out. Get it out to the people. We're just trying to get to as many people as possible because it's just good conversations to be had from now on. And shout out to your boy Doug Funny, the one and only OG. Y'all enjoy the episode. Peace. What's going on, man?
I like that music.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out the boy Eric Puente. I think he gets a shout out. I think every time we have a new guest on, but he's the one that wrote that for me, and he just, I was like, hey man, I'm starting a show. I need an intro for it. He was like, I'm just like, I like funky.
Yeah, that's
what
a
he gave
good
me.
That's a good one.
And I don't think I'm ever gonna get tired of it.
No.
But anyways, how are you?
I'm doing good. It's a good weekend.
Yeah.
Got my cat back.
Was he at your parents' house?
He was actually at my boyfriend's parents' house.
Boyfriend's parents'
Yeah.
house.
He was in Laredo.
Oh, that's why you were down. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
was
Well,
like-
first and foremost, who are you? What do you do? Where are you from? What's your deepest, darkest secret?
Oh. No secrets. My name's Elena Martell. I'm an orchestra teacher. And yeah, I'm born and raised in Austin, Texas, and made my way south and then made my way back up.
Word. And you went to A&M Corpus, right?
That's right.
Yeah. And you got a straight ahead education degree?
Yeah.
Or education cert?
I went through the education program
Okay.
there, but the way they do it, it's like music is like your main thing, and then it's like instrumental, EC through 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's the same thing for
Right.
you, right? I think that's standard. Yeah. Standard certification.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm sure we're going to get to education at some point, but you just did something wild and got a house.
Oh yeah.
And you're 20,
I'm 24.
24?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say 23 and I felt wrong. 24, and you have a brand new house. How does that feel?
It's still a little surreal because like the crazy thing that happened was that I accidentally ordered food from the wrong place. That's how this whole like thing of buying a house came.
Wait.
So yeah, let me
What?
back up. I told my parents, I was like, hey, because I did not like the apartments I was in. I had really noisy neighbors, y'all know.
Yes.
And so I was like, you know what, like I gotta move. Like I can't live here. The front office people weren't that friendly. And so I was like, I should look at duplexes because that way my cat's basically like a dog. He likes having a lawn. He was like, that way Fig can go outside. Like, it'll be good. So I told my parents, I'm like, hey, like come up and help me look and stuff. So they did. And we looked through some and they weren't really that like a fan of any of them. So I was like, yeah, we'll keep looking. I'm going to order food and y'all can head back to the apartment. And they're like, okay. So I ordered food from a place in Houston because I typed it out wrong. I was trying to order food from Pizza Rings and
Pizza wings and things?
Yes.
Gotcha.
But I think I wrote out but it's actually an in.
Yeah.
So whatever. So I was like, well, my food's ready in Houston, but I'm in Temple. So I called my mom and I was like, hey, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I can go take you the key. She's like, oh, no, it's fine. We're looking at these houses around the neighborhood. Like, we're good. Like, we're just walking around. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I get back and I have food and everything. And my mom and my stepdad are like, so what's your plan in like 5 years? And I was like, to dip my peaks in this ranch? Like, I don't know. And so she was like, well, we're just thinking, like, you should just buy a house. Like, because you have good credit, like, you've been saving, all this stuff. Like, just buy a house. It's a lot better than renting and, like, being in a duplex. I was like, okay. I never really thought about, like, buying a house because I'm still pretty young. And, like, my parents obviously didn't have a house at my age and all that stuff. So I was like, well, I'll go to the meeting. She's like, I already set up a meeting for you. You have a meeting at 1 on Monday. Yeah. I love my mom, but, like, sometimes I'm like, bro.
Shout out to mom.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, well, are you coming? And she was like, yeah, I'll be there. She's like, I'll be here to pick you up. Like, it's all good. I was like, okay, well, we'll see what they say. And if they say yeah, then sure. Like, I don't see why not. So I ended up going. It wasn't a really good experience. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to get a house from them. So then I went to another builder, and they were super cool, super nice. The bank people actually knew some of the teachers that I work with.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, so they were, like, super supportive, super helpful. Like, anything I needed, any questions I had, like, they were there. So I was like, awesome. And, yeah, I closed on my house a week ago on the 24th, and
that's crazy.
Just
man.
been vibing, living.
And it's brand new, ain't it?
Yeah, it's brand new.
That's crazy.
So, like, the commute from Pflugerville to Temple was a little rough because, like, I'd have to wake up at 4:45 every day.
Gang.
And it just was not what's up because I love to sleep. And I would leave the school super late, and I'd be, like, crying on my way back. But it's fine. It was so worth it because now I just live 15 minutes and there's a red light, but...
And to be clear, and this is what I didn't realize, because you said, I'm buying a house, and I'm going to be commuting from Pflugerville. And I was like, yo, why is she buying a house in Pflugerville? Like, and still, like, I was, like, looking at Evan and Kelsey, and they were all, like, not fazed by that statement. I was like, is she still working here? Are we getting a new director already? Are we getting a, like, I was, like, freaking out for a second. I was like, none of this makes sense to me. And then finally, we were just like, yeah, the closing date is after my move out day from my apartment. Yeah. So that's why I'm moving back to Pflugerville with my parents until I get the house. I was like, oh. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Because I was like, I can do a month to month, but I'd rather just save the money and commute and just buy stuff for the house.
I mean, it wasn't too bad. Like, what, 40 minutes maybe?
Yeah, it was 50 minutes from leaving Pflugerville to get to, like, the parking lot of the school.
Gotcha.
So it wasn't terrible. And there was never traffic until you hit, like, Round Rock, of course.
Stop.
But it wasn't too bad. It wasn't like an hour and a half or anything. So it was fine. And it was when for, like, real school, it was, like, 2 weeks. But, like, from, like, start of contract, it was, like, 6 weeks. But I wouldn't go up there every day.
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of those classroom days, and no point in going to the classroom when a majority of our classroom was to set up the online classroom.
Honestly. I was like, I just need Wi-Fi.
That being said, like, have you, because I know I got two buddies down in San Antonio that just got houses. Shout out to the homies Caesar and Jackson. But I think a month after Jackson moved in, he finally got curtains. So, homie got married, and then, like, he still had no curtains. He just had, like, bed sheets. Like, because he this beautiful house with these massive windows, like, again, brand new house, but it's so bright.
Yeah.
Like, he like, they weren't able to sleep, so he has, like, these sheets taped to the wall.
No, I have curtains.
Okay, so you got curtains, but I know you didn't have, like, do you have the washer dryer?
Yeah, so I got my washer and dryer delivered. That's another story. I got my washer and dryer delivered on Wednesday, but so I paid delivery, and they just left them out, like, in the front of my garage. So I had a little Karen moment. I did, and I was like, dude, what? So the guy,
I feel like that's relatively reasonable.
Because, like, you pay for delivery to...
Like, delivery means you usually...
put it inside or call me. I don't know. But I ended up calling the place, and they're like, we're so sorry, blah, blah. So a guy that worked there came down and put them in my house. So I was like, I can't lift them. Like,
I'm incapable of lifting a washer and dryer from the front of my garage into this laundry room. Please help.
Please help. I am a small person, and I'm not that strong.
But a fridge.
Got that Friday. So I had the mini fridge for my office, in my house because I was like, I need something for the meantime. So it's a week without a
For
fridge.
sure.
So I finally got it Friday, and that was super clean delivery. And I put everything in there Friday night, and it's nice,
Yeah.
clean.
Wait, did you put the mini fridge like in the fridge spot?
Oh, you know
Of
I
course,
did.
yeah.
But it was even funnier.
Please tell me you took a picture of that.
Oh, yes, I did.
Okay, good.
I put it on top of my cooler
Need that.
and then the fridge so it can be like average height, you know?
It's gonna appear right here, just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then,
Evan's been really getting after this post-production stuff. He's having some fun with it.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a fridge on top of a cooler
the mini fridge.
right here.
It was great.
Well done. Was it like the small mini fridge, or was
No,
it at
it was
least the
the
big
big
one?
one. It was the big one.
Okay.
But I still didn't want to like hunchback over to open it, so I put it on top of the cooler. And then Friday morning, I was like, "Oh man, like they're gonna come, and it's gonna be in the middle of the workday." So I was like, "I can't just have this here like while they're there." So I
Yeah.
like tipped the cooler over and like rolled the mini fridge and the cooler to like the other side of the kitchen. And I was like, "Wow, I'm so smart." On my way
Big
to
brain,
work.
dude.
Big brain.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Evan, did you know this was a thing with new houses?
What?
Because I've only ever lived in used houses when I was growing up.
Oh, you mean
And
like buying like all the new stuff, or
not even buying, but just like you got the house
yeah,
and you didn't have everything in it.
right, yeah.
I didn't like that. No idea.
Like blinds?
Because whenever they build, yeah, like they don't
My
like
house came with
blinds, yeah.
blinds, but-
Whenever they build, they don't like usually add all that stuff. It's just
Yeah, even with all my construction, because all the construction I did was like post house built, so it was like renovations, or it's like
Yeah.
we got a new fridge, and so like let's redo the appliances, stuff like that. So I didn't realize that like houses just, and I feel dumb saying it. I didn't. A house doesn't naturally come with a fridge.
No.
But I think a usual like whenever you like plan out that stuff like your closing day, like you do it like before that.
Yeah.
Typically, I think. Like,
But then-
did you get
Sometimes.
it delivered before, like your
Yeah,
closing
I
date,
just
or-
didn't want like one being a first time home buyer and stuff like that, and my credit was fine and everything, but I still was like had this anxiety of like, oh, because they didn't give me all of my formal documents, and they usually don't until a couple days before closing. So still they can pull out and be like, we didn't notice that in your closing.
Yeah.
So actually you can't get this house. So yeah, I just didn't want to like buy a fridge and then it didn't go through.
Gotcha.
So
Then you have nowhere to put it.
yeah, so the day I closed, I signed everything, and then right after I went to Home Depot and bought a fridge,
Gotcha.
and then ate lunch. Yeah.
Solid. Yeah, I had no idea that they just didn't come with all the things already ready to go.
I was thankful my builder gave us, or like the house came with blinds, like the big wooden ones.
Yeah.
Because I have like 6 windows in the front, or not the front, the living room.
Yeah,
So it
okay.
would have been super bright. But like when my parents got their new house, it didn't come with the blinds. That's
That's
an
crazy.
upgrade.
That's crazy.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't realize that like all these things were upgrades, and they're just kind of part of standard living. It's
I know, right?
goofy. But how big is the house, and how much was it in if you don't mind me
No, it's
asking?
fine. I don't know how many square feet, I forgot, but it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Has a
Okay.
covered patio, pretty big patio. I didn't pay for sod, which also I didn't know that houses didn't come with a backyard. Like you have to buy sod.
Yeah,
gotta buy the grass.
You
Yeah.
got to buy the grass, which is silly and makes me angry.
So especially like with the Texas weather and like going into this fall winter
Yeah.
season, I didn't want to pay for sod and then the grass die.
Yeah.
So I just planted some seeds and just
We'll see what
watering.
happens,
Yeah,
yeah.
see what happens. Call me a planter, if you will. Gardener?
Gardener.
Gardener.
I was gonna let it slide. But yeah, it's definitely gardening.
But what was the question? Oh yeah, how big the house is? 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it was about a garage, and I think it was like 162 or
Word?
or 172. No, it was 162 because the building, the neighborhood. Like I have a neighbor on the left side, but on the right side, it's still like a lot that you
Yeah.
can buy.
Yeah.
So the value of the house for what it's worth was pretty low because it was still like an up and coming
Yeah.
neighborhood.
Yeah,
But like
yeah.
if I were to sell within a year, like I could make a profit out of it.
You make a decent profit off it.
So that was another reason, because I told my stepdad. My stepdad's super good with like numbers and stuff, and I was like, well, I don't know like how long I'm gonna be here. I feel like buying a house is pretty like permanent, and like you're putting
Yeah.
roots in the place. So I told him, and he was like, well, if you move, like you can always rent your house and you still have like some form of income coming through. So I was like, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
So
Evan, you want to buy a house?
Until I'm for sure gonna be somewhere for like 5 years.
come be my neighbors.
That's fair. Alright.
Until like
I guess.
I just don't want to like. I don't want to fix something in my house.
That's
That
fair.
like I don't want to fix a water heater. Like I don't want to go through that until it's like gonna be my place for a long. Is that lazy?
It's a little lazy, but I get what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
I get what you're saying, for sure.
I just don't want to get too invested in a place that I'm like, I'm not gonna be here for.
That's fair.
But you never know.
I just, God bless, I miss having a yard and a garage.
Oh no, dude, don't get me wrong. I need a yard. Like I need a. I haven't.
I like had lunch on my patio today, and Fig was
Damn.
like outside
That
vibing.
sounds, yeah,
That sounds nice.
that
Yeah.
sounds
Like, that
real
doesn't,
nice.
like, that means more to me than me being like, yeah, I had breakfast out on my patio.
Yeah, that.
Just doesn't feel the same.
Yeah,
Because I'm looking over nothing.
sorry.
I'm looking over a parking lot, and you're looking into your dirt patch.
My dirt patch.
Although it is
Yeah.
a dirt patch, it is still
Later on.
your dirt patch.
Yeah, it's my dirt patch with a fence.
And with all that being said, like, what is, so 160, what, a 30-year mortgage? So, like, what, 1,100 a month?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
How did I do that?
Yeah, I know, right? That's impressive. But yes, you're like $3 off. But yeah.
We were all like, what? Marcus Bonilla just did math like.
How did I do that?
That was a record.
Marcus is Google.
Apparently so.
Yo,
You can leave now.
How did I do that? That doesn't make any sense. That was kind of, we can't say it on here, but that time with Kayla,
Yeah.
I feel like that's what that was.
Where you just like have a weird.
Oh,
Like
I have a weird gauge of
Well, you're just like-
numbers.
maybe it's like important numbers.
Maybe
like,
it's important
Like
numbers.
rent's an important number, so you're like
I know business, man.
like rent you can figure it out real fast, or mortgage you can figure it out real fast, or other things.
Yo, 1,100. That's, I mean,
It's not bad though.
that's not
yeah.
bad at all.
Granted,
Compared,
my one bedroom was $915.
I was about to say you're paying
Yeah,
a grand.
15, yeah.
You're paying $915.
Yeah, now.
Okay. I mean, I'm paying $850 for this, and this is 2.2. Add another bedroom and a house
Yeah, and a yard and garage.
and a
yeah.
yard. And, oh my god!
So-
I'll pay another $200 for goddamn
But y'all, my interest rate was super low.
for real.
Yeah, it was like a 2.8, I think.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
What's your credit?
Like
Yeah,
six.
spend all your-
I know, right? What's your social? Like a 690.
Really?
Yeah,
You
but
got that low with? I figured you'd need like a 750 or something.
Well, you
I
need
feel
a six-
so old
you need a
having this
620,
conversation.
right?
Credit's up.
You need a 620 to qualify for certain programs, because being like
Yeah.
a first home buyer,
Yeah.
and just to even like have your name on a piece of paper
Gotcha.
if you want to buy a house. So
620.
yeah.
I'm pretty close to that.
So I was a little nervous though, because like I was not in plans of buying a house, and I was
Yeah.
just like swipe, 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 swipe. Oh, credit card, swipe that again.
Yeah.
Like
Big chilling
yeah.
on.
My mom was like, "Yeah, your credit card's going away for a minute." I was like, "Yeah, you're probably right."
Probably a good call.
So I was
Dang.
able to build my credit within those month and a half of living in Pflugerville too.
Nice, man.
Yeah,
Good
so.
stuff. Well,
Cool.
as I've said, I'm tired of being in the apartment. As much as this apartment has done me well, I've been actually thinking about trying to find a house for like January.
Oh geez.
All,
Yeah.
they're all over there.
I know they're all over there, and I might look into it just because.
Shout out
Just kinda-
Omega Home Builders. They the bomb.
But my credit is boo boo. Oh my god, my credit is so bad because I just got screwed over on a debt collecting from a gym and one of the old apartments I lived in San Marcos,
Oh, yeah.
which I'm like settling up right now. But like, oof, they did me
dirty.
dirty. Like the gym charged me for 2 years on like a 6-month like program.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it's something like $1,600. Yeah. So like I've been calling them trying to like, hey, what? Hold on. Like I'll pay something, but I'm not like.
Yeah.
They charged me for 2 years, and I didn't even live in San Marcos for that long when I was at this gym. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
So I got to figure that stuff out before I get out of this place, because yeah, your boy's credit's not it.
Yeah.
It's not it.
It takes a minute to repair it, especially when they do that, like apartments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My apartment in Corpus did me dirty, but it wasn't that dirty, yeah. But
Well, the apartment they kicked my apartment complex kicked me out early because it was just this weird lease thing where my 3 roommates were on a 10-month lease and I was on a 12-month lease. But they were just like, but then they realized like I signed the lease for my part of the rent,
Right.
and then they weren't going to be getting the rest of the rent, and they were just like, so you're going to pay for the rest? I was like, nah, that's not what I signed for.
Yeah.
300, not 1,200.
Right.
Not me. You all figure it out.
Yeah, figure
and they're just
that
like,
out.
cool, so you're going to be moving out when everybody else moves out then. I was like, what now?
oh my god.
So I just like, I had like a week to get everything out, and I had furnished the entire apartment, so like I couldn't get everything out.
Yeah.
And they charged me like crazy for like cleaning fees, and I left a couch in there because they also told me I couldn't leave the couch by the dumpster. I was like, what?
So of course they charged you to take the couch
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
It's like $300 to take the couch out, and like $300 in cleaning fees, and like all this stuff that like I had documented, but because I had like cleaning and damage, I had all this stuff documented, but because they kicked me out early, like I didn't have a chance to like fight them on that stuff. I was just like, yo, I need, and like my family's not in Texas. So I was like, I need
Yeah.
somewhere to live.
Oh no.
And I lucked out. I only lucked out because one of my homies was on drum corps staff, and I got to post up in his apartment while he was on tour, and I was trying to figure that out. Shout out my boys, Miles Hartman, for helping your boy out. But he also, his roommate had a cat, and your boy was dying
was
the entire
super
time.
yeah.
Not a good time. Not a good time. Anyways, all that to be said, slowly figuring it out, and hopefully I can get into a
Get a
house soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
But I mean, that being said, with you being at least in a house for your second year of teaching, a couple more years probably then? Safe bet that you're going to be here in Temple?
Yeah, a couple more. I want to go back to school and get my master's.
Oh, word?
Yeah, I'm thinking about applying like this year or the following. Yeah, so it's
What do
just
you want to get your master's in?
music education.
Okay.
Yeah, or conducting or something like that, but still keeping in the field. But I just need to wait and kind of figure that out.
For sure.
I don't know how like all it works, and especially right now with like COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But they still, I was reading like online, and they'll still let you like, 'cause you have to submit an audition tape, teaching tape,
Yeah.
of you teaching, but it can also be like a virtual, like you can do like your Teams meet or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right
so
on.
I just have to organize everything and then see if they accept me and go from there.
Right on.
But I'm trying to find like the summer programs. That way I don't have to leave my job.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what Kayla did. I haven't talked to Kayla about that in a while. I didn't get a chance to follow up with her like the tail end of her summer
Yeah.
courses and see how that went. Because, yeah, I mean, she started this summer, and everything being online, like for theater. Like I remember her talking about her design class. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Like you got to make these little 3D models, but like
in a virtual space.
in a virtual space. Yeah, it just some things are not conducive to the online thing.
Exactly. As we know.
We all know.
As we're living.
As we're living through it.
Yeah.
So that being said, what's it been like for you with this online hybrid deal that we've got going on?
It's been an interesting ride,
Yeah.
to say the least. Like, there's some days where I get all the video submissions that I need, and kids are doing good, and I'm like, yeah. And then there's some days where it's like, 2 people submit assignment. I'm like, cool. Like, this is awesome. Or when you're on your Teams meet and no one logs in, I'm like, cool.
All right.
Just in my office crying.
Dude,
and then Kelsey's out there teaching dance. Which is also fun when I have like a kid who needs help and I'm like playing and they're like, oh, there's a lot of music going on. So I'm like, oh yeah, we have a dance class in here too. Because why not?
Because there's a dance program without having a dance studio at the middle school.
Yep.
Shout out.
We make it work.
Yeah. I mean, shout out to you for being a homie, for like not being super weird about having to share that space.
Yeah.
Like, were you told? I gotta ask this question actually beforehand. Are you listed as a head director? This is something I always was curious with you and how the orchestra world works, because I know that like Flowers is always. Does he come down to your?
No.
No. Okay. So then, like, she has to be a head director, right?
Yeah.
I just don't think you're probably just listed as like a.
I just
like,
listed as orchestra
yeah,
director.
orchestra director. Not I'm not. I was gonna say it's like director of bands.
Yeah.
You're not like. There's no head on it.
But that's what I'm confused about, is because like my homegirl that was over in Killeen, she was the only middle school choir director, and she was listed as a head director and got like the head director benefits and like the stipends and such.
Oh.
So like I'm confused on like how would she not be listed as a head director? If
Probably is.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Because
Yeah.
I still get like the head
stipend
director
and stuff, yeah.
benefits. Yeah.
Okay.
But most middle school programs in orchestra don't have 2 directors.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only, I
I
think.
guess that makes sense.
Well, like in Austin, I think there's only about 1 that has 2 directors.
Really?
Yeah.
Even in Austin?
Yeah. If for middle school. For high school, it's
I know-
different.
Yeah, high school.
They all have 2, but
think it's pretty
well,
standard.
most of them have 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, for middle school, it's not that common for them to have 2
Yeah.
orchestra directors.
Did your high school have an orchestra program?
Oh yeah. Yeah. They
Did you-
actually won they almost won like honor orchestra. The other year, I think.
I don't know why I ask you these questions. You went to Allen. Of course you
Yeah.
had everything.
Come on now.
Did
yours have
my
that?
high school had like now looking back at it, I assume he was floating middle schools because he was only there half the day.
Oh yeah.
And then the other half of the day was mariachi.
Oh yeah.
Which now that I'm thinking, like, that schedule didn't really line
Yeah.
up. Because because we had the band hall, we had the percussion office, which no classes were ever taught in there. It was just like storage and where the percussion director was his office. and then the orchestra hall, which was the orchestra, the mariachi, and percussion.
Of course.
Yeah. How did that work? How many orchestra classes did that guy teach? When was I in band?
It's amazing how scheduling can work out sometimes.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That's probably what they think about, like, with us. Sort of like, wait, she's there 4 periods, and then they're dancing in there, and then, like, what's going on?
Yeah. Huh. Like, I'm gonna, again, I just said I'm not gonna ask you any of these questions, but here I am asking you another question. But I already know that you had spaces for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We did too at my high school.
And then you went to
McCallum High School.
McCallum.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
well, yeah,
fine
you're
arts
Fine
academy.
Arts Academy, so that makes sense. Ugh, McCallum. Their
Go
marching band
Knights.
is so good.
Oh yeah, they are.
So good.
And their orchestra, and their choir, and their theater.
Again, it's
like,
a fine arts school, so what do you expect? So that being said, we were talking about
oh,
what were we talking
What were we
about?
talking about?
Online teaching.
Online teaching.
online teaching.
You and Kelsey sharing.
Oh yeah.
Did they tell you like when you before you got hired, when you got hired,
Oh,
when you
no,
showed
no.
up? Like when did you find out that?
Well, what happened was there was stuff going down in the hallway, and they needed my room like for to like be a mediator or something like that.
Okay.
Like stuff with kids, like
yeah.
just to calm them down. And I was like eating lunch, and I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. Closed my door. And then afterwards, the principal walked out, or the assistant principal, and he was like, hey, there's not a class in here right now? And I was like, no, like I'm on lunch, and then I go to the elementary schools. And he was like, oh, is it cool there's a dance class in here? And I was like, I mean, I guess, sure. But I had already met Kelsey, and I was like, oh, like, she's a cool dude. Like, It's fine.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that she was actually in the library and like not having a good time over there. So whenever,
Really?
yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
So, well, they were like, meet at the library and then walk to Ralph Wilson or something like that. But
That's
it just wasn't convenient. Like, it's not like when you have to travel with the class because, I mean, you walk and the kids get distracted. So,
I mean, well, even with Ralph Wilson being like basically across the street, that's what, 10 minutes there and back?
yeah. Plus their dress out time.
Plus
so
dress out. So, like, what, dancing for 15 minutes maybe?
something.
5 minute stretch?
20, yeah. That's like,
Yeah.
Jeez.
So after I was like, yeah, that's fine. She like got there with her little cart. So yeah, so ever since then it was fine. But like this year we have it more structured, like where I teach in the morning, she teaches in the afternoon, and
Yeah.
we share the office space, and it's fine because I mean she's my girl, so it's
Yeah.
cool.
You guys big chilling.
Yeah.
Together, yeah. And then you guys became best friends.
Yeah.
And then you guys dragged in Evan.
Yes, we forced Evan to be our friend.
literally dragged me.
Yeah.
Like,
He was like, no, I'm not gonna go hang out, and we were like, Evan, hang out with us, and he was like, fine, and yeah.
I mean, it's much like what I did. I knew him for 3 weeks and then told him I needed somebody for a gig in San Marcos. Let's go. And we've been kicking it ever since.
yeah.
Yeah. That's how Evan makes friends.
I have to be
He's
forced.
forced,
I have to be
yeah.
forced into it. Otherwise, I will not be anyone's friend.
And then we just started
Yeah.
inviting Evan to dinner. We're like, oh, we're going to have dinner. We're like, hey, Evan, we're having dinner and you're coming. He'd be like, okay.
All right. And then me and Kelsey became friends because I would get there. I'd get to Travis because... No, first it was I would get to Travis during 8th period. You were just getting done.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, girl, you okay? And,
So you're always fixing a broken instrument. Yeah.
The instrument was always broken. You just got done yelling at somebody. You just got done being yelled at by somebody.
Yes.
Everything was always falling apart. And I was just like, hey, man, it's going to be all right. And then I'd go teach my class. And then I'd come back and Kelsey's in there. And it'd be the same thing. Like, hey, man, how you doing?
First year was hard, y'all. Like, oh my gosh.
Oh, especially for both y'all. Kelsey struggled because it was a brand new program, and you struggled because the mess you picked up was, good Lord,
Yeah.
so rough.
Yeah.
But I mean, even then, I don't like, looking back to what, like, teaching environment, like classroom environment, homeboy, I won't call him out, but homeboy before you, he was teaching in like a wood shop class.
Yeah.
Like that's
no. Like,
come on, man.
You're already selling him up for failure.
Yeah.
That was awesome teaching in there.
So.
I thought
You taught in there.
Yeah.
I think I taught a class in there once. It's just not a good time.
They showed me whenever I got hired, and they're like, but it's okay, we're tearing it down in a couple weeks. And I was like, oh, cool.
Well, like in order to get air conditioning on in there was this big like thing, like a generator basically
Yeah.
to turn on, and it was like louder than
The
like,
loudest thing.
like
And
anything.
well, at the other middle school that John teaches at,
Yeah.
when I go down there to pull the percussionists, that's where I have to teach. Well, that's where I had to teach. I still haven't been down there yet, actually.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen the new space. Have you seen the new space?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah?
It's good.
Okay.
It's like our new space. Yeah.
Over at Lamar?
Yeah, I saw the new orchestra place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, is it really just the same floor plan?
No. It's instead of across the hall. It's on. It's like in the back of the band hall. Now, they like where where our stage used to be. Like there
Yes.
was, yeah. Where that stage used to be. That's where the new.
Oh.
That's where their new room is. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a little bit different configuration because they have to have that wood shop class because it's a part of.
Yeah, because I mean they have that
it's still a
CTE
classroom.
program. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But word, yeah, I need to go check them out. And then Bottom is fine, right? They didn't get anything new, right?
I think they're good.
No,
Yeah,
yeah, they're
'cause
fine.
they're
They're the newest school, so they should have everything for
Oh,
you.
really?
Yeah, they have. That is, I do have.
relatively
I digress.
newest.
Relatively newest. But their floor plan is silly. Like
It's
the other band hall is like not directly across the like from the band hall.
Oh, really?
is like 4 rooms down.
Oh, wow.
Pretty inconvenient. Whatever. Anyway, so first year is super rough because you're picking up this mess from the year before because I think he picked up a mess too.
Yeah, he came in like a day before the school started.
Yeah.
or something like
No. He came in the day
that. Of school.
the day after school started. Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
So, yeah. I moved into the orchestra room the day before school started.
Yeah.
And, like, that was already hard enough. But I can't even imagine going in, like, the day after.
Day after school started, you don't have a actual classroom.
Yeah, no. Which is funny, because the first day of school last year, apparently, like, I was mean or something. My kids still remember. They're like, I'll always remember you as the one who took my Rubik's Cube away. And I'm just like, why did you have that in my classroom?
Of all things to be remembered by.
It's like,
Could be
cool.
worse.
Yeah, it could be worse.
Okay. So then, like, what was your first year experience like? Because me and Evan talked about this, and it was our mental health episode, and how poorly our first year went.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't. Well, it wasn't that bad. But you know, first year, then it gets cut off in March because of COVID. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Last year was your first year. You didn't start with me and Evan.
No. No.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what? Yeah. What was your first year like? Like what was it? What was it like getting cut off before you were done?
It was pretty sad. 'Cause, like the thing that made like me like pretty sad at first was just like I said like, oh, like have a good spring break. I'll see y'all like in Monday. Like be safe. Blah
Yeah.
blah blah. And then like se acabó. Nothing else.
Nothing
So I was
else.
like, oh, okay. And then like switching really quick to like remote and like there's some kids who just don't have access to that stuff.
Yeah.
And I couldn't like talk to them or like check in with them. And even like on the first day of school this year, one of my kids came up to me and was like, we didn't even get to say goodbye last year. And I was like, stop it right now. Yeah. And then he like gave me an air hug. He's like, air hug is COVID. I was like, oh my God. But it was, the thing that made me happy was the Friday before, or that week before spring break was whenever we went to UIL.
Yeah.
So I had told my kids, like, if y'all get straight ones, because they hadn't gotten ones for like 10 years. So yeah, for 10 years. So whenever we did it, I told them, I was like, y'all, I'm pushing y'all, but like, please, like, it's gonna be worth it. Like, what do y'all want? And they're like, we want free time. We want like to go outside, blah blah. So okay, I was like, let's make a deal. Like, we get straight ones, and on this day we'll go outside. On this day we'll do something inside. Like, it's a give and take. And so that the rest of that week we were like playing basketball or like inside doing like little games, like just team building stuff that we had done in the beginning, like just doing it again now that like everyone was friends, because before whenever I first got there, everyone was like cliques, like nobody would really talk to each other.
Gotcha.
So now everyone was talking to each other, everyone was friends, they all had each other's back. And then COVID happened. I didn't see them. Yeah. So like my 8th graders, when they came and picked up their instruments, were like, we miss you. Or especially like the really quiet ones who I thought didn't even like me on their Google form. I always put like anything like you need or need to tell me. They're like, I miss you so much. Like your class was so much fun. I was like, really? You? Cool.
Word. Thanks, man.
Like, man, respect. Yeah. So it's good to see them now. And like, thankfully, like, they didn't get, not behind, but, like, they didn't miss a lot.
Yeah.
So, like, we can still make music and all that, but it's still, like, that barrier of having those kids online that I can't see and, like, talk to. But, I mean, we're making the best of it, but it was definitely, like, a lot to take in, like, the first year, just stopping mid-year and not knowing, like, what to do, or, like, it was especially, like, just nerve-wracking a little bit because, there's all these older and more experienced teachers who were also freaking out. So I was like, oh man, like, well, this is bad.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm freaking out, but y'all freaking out, like,
That's not good.
yeah, someone throw me something, please. I'm drowning. But thankfully, like, the orchestra team was great, and like we made it through, and we still had like got to do like our awards and stuff at the end of the year, but it was a lot. So
Now, did you have the same sense of like incompletion that like me and Evan had?
yeah,
Do you feel? Because like you've never had a complete year.
yes.
So like, what is your level of incompletion feel like?
It just feel like it felt like that UIL was like the little bump over,
Yeah.
and then like April and May was supposed to be like, especially for my fifth graders, because fifth grade does that big orchestra concert at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So they didn't get to get a performance. So I was pretty like sad about that too, especially like the fourth graders get to see the fifth graders do that. So
Yeah.
like the numbers for orchestra next year, but it just felt weird. Like, okay, UIL done, have a good spring break, and then we just ended.
Yeah.
So it felt like just pending, like, oh, we're gonna go back, and then like the last day of school happened, and we had summer, even though summer was like forever, and then we just started a new year. So it's like, it just felt like just incomplete and like pending, and like still now, like I don't feel like it's my first year anymore. Like I feel a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
But whenever I start planning for things that happen in the spring, I'm like, oh, well, I don't know. Like,
You have this like hesitancy.
yes,
Almost? Yeah.
yeah. Like,
Yeah.
am I sure I want to do that? Like, well, what if this happens? Or like, always kind of having like a backup plan, I guess. But it just felt really weird and not complete. Like, not completing my first year of teaching. But
I was talking to this to my buddy Caesar and WGI. I don't know if you saw this, Evan, but WGI is officially canceled.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the indoor drumline
Yeah.
thing. So I was talking to him about that. This will be the first time in 9 years where I'm not participating in indoor drumline, and I was just like,
yeah.
that's
That's another thing. I always do music camps since
Yeah.
I was like a little baby kid, and this summer not doing anything. I was just like, what? Well, it was weird because it was like a summer without school, because I
Yeah.
usually took summer
Yeah.
courses, and the summer before my first year, I was studying for my certification exam, so it was still some form of school.
I definitely feel that because in the same boat. Like last summer, it was like Monday through Thursday, I did like I was writing the marching band drill, I was writing marching band music. Then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, go down to San Marcos, go to do like a weekend in Houston, like little things like that.
Teaching
And
somewhere.
It was just like it was either teaching somewhere or just like no, like this is an actual break weekend.
Yeah.
As opposed to this summer where it's just like it just kind of glazed through
Yeah.
from what was partial quarantine and now it's like kind of quarantine and then it's not quarantine and then we went out when they said that it wasn't quarantine anymore.
Yeah.
And then I think 4 days after we get back, they're just like, "Oh, just
They're like,
kidding."
everything's shut down. Just
Stop,
kidding.
Let's stop.
Stop all that. And then I remember, I don't know if you guys were, but I was just like, am I gonna die now?
I would wake up and be like, okay, yeah. I just feel weird because I slept with the
Let me
fan
tell
on.
you, anytime you get a scratchy throat right now, I immediately freak out. Anytime.
Yeah.
Nothing. I'm like pretty sure I haven't had it, but it's like anytime.
No, I've definitely been like this entire time. I've been like a big advocate of just like, yo, if you just like just looking at the entire thing, I was like, yo, the age demographic, yes. Now a lot of more of like our people are getting it, but
Our people.
they have a better chance of being fine as long as they're healthy. And that's been my thing. It's just like, yeah, as long as you take care of your body, you're gonna be straight. And then like after we came back from our little vacation, I was like, God damn, am I gonna die? Did I just ruin it for myself? Are people gonna like be like, see, told you? Luckily, I'm not dead, not died yet.
Yeah,
Bless
I
up.
definitely freaked out when we came back. I was like, I'm just gonna stay inside. I'm
Yeah.
not going anywhere. Especially because I was I wasn't everywhere this summer, but like, I felt like I was.
You were out of town
Because
a
like
lot.
I did, my best friend got married, so I went to Houston.
Yeah.
And then Art moved out of his apartment, so we went to Georgia, and then we went to San Marcos.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then Austin, but it was I went to Corpus too.
You went to Corpus. I think you went to Laredo once.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
you
I
were
went to
up in
Laredo.
Dallas once. Was
Did I
that?
make it No, I didn't make it to
That might have
Dallas.
been Kayla. I don't know. I remember like my weekly dinners like, hey, Who's coming through? I'm going here now. Whatever. All right. Kayla, so-and-so's in town. All right. Well, you guys suck.
I need new friends.
Just Kelsey and Evan. Yeah, we'll be there. See you in a little bit. All right. Thanks, guys. And shout out to the homie Brandon. Jacob. Brandon.
What?
Who's
Twice
Brandon?
now. That's
twice.
Wait, do we have a
Jesus.
friend named Brandon?
No.
Wait, what's...
I got a former student with the same last name
Okay. I was like,
as Jacob.
Wait, but who was your buddy that we met that one time?
Jacob?
No, the other one.
The other
Oh,
one.
Ben.
Ben.
Yeah, Ben.
Yeah.
Not Brendan. Ben. And Jacob.
No. It's not Jacob. It's Brandon.
What?
Wait.
No,
God damn it.
the other way.
Not Brandon. It's Jacob. Jacob, I'm sorry, dog. So sorry.
This is episode 14.
I
Come
know.
on.
And I even asked him.
Go back and watch episode 14.
Yeah, I even asked him if he would tag in, and because I wasn't sure what you. Because I just by this point I actually just kind of assumed that you're never in town on the weekends.
Yeah, that's true. But whenever he texted me, I was driving back from Laredo. I didn't even text you till I got home.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd hit up Jacob first, and I was like, "Hey man, are you down?" He's like, "Bro, I was free all Saturday, booked up all Sunday." And I was like, "Oh no,
Oh no.
please come through." Please. And then of course he didn't text me back till later. I was like, I'm about to text you like, "Hey man, I don't know what we're gonna do. I ain't got nobody." And the last episode you and I did, I was dying, so I don't. It's not gonna be good content. Yeah. That being said, if you catch the one that comes out tomorrow, on Monday, what is that? Episode 27.
Yeah.
Yeah, my body is like actively shutting down
He's
So
throughout the entire episode.
literally like falling apart.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep a conversation with Evan, and I'm just,
He's mostly like trying to not pass out.
yeah,
Like,
Oh,
it's a
that's
good
fair.
time.
for an
It's a
hour.
good time.
Cool.
So, feel free to check that out. And people that are catching this episode, they didn't catch Monday's episode.
Go back.
Go see your boy die a little bit, physically and mentally. It was a rough
Emotionally,
week.
everything's
a struggle busting. Good talk.
I love that song.
I do have a question for you.
Yes.
And me and Dwaylen got into this on the first episode, and I guess it's in the vein of colorism. I think I'm gonna ask the question and then let me know if it's
Okay.
if I'm thinking the right thing. You grew up in Austin,
Yes.
but your first language was
Spanish.
Did you run into a similar issue that I did, where because you're in Austin and you're in the north part of Austin, where it's predominantly white, did you ever feel like you were not white enough for the white kids,
But not.
or Mexican enough for the Mexican kids?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that colorism?
It's like,
No, that's not colorism.
Yeah,
that's the shade thing with me and Dway.
Yeah.
What is that?
I think it's just like racial a racial assimilation is like the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
Is like
yeah, and it's weird because
or like racial identity, like kind of like finding English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
thankfully, like, McCallum was super diverse. So, like, I was
Yeah.
able to find my people. Not like that, but, you know, like, I was
Yeah.
able to find, like, some culture because I think that's really important. And just being true to who you are and true to your culture and not shying away from that because,
course.
like, you are who you are. And your parents, especially, like, being, like, first generation and everything, like, your parents worked hard to be, like, here, like, appreciate your culture. But it's weird because when I was in Austin, growing up, like, I was always, like, super Mexican, like, for everyone. Like, you can, obviously, like, I'm brown, you can point me out. But whenever I moved to Corpus, it was like, oh, like, you're not Mexican. Like, you're not that Mexican, right? Like, it still shocked people when I told them, oh, yeah, like, yes, I speak Spanish. Like, that's my first language. They're like, oh, really? Like, we didn't think so. And then I'd go to Austin and I'd, like, be checking out, and then they only would speak to me in Spanish because they didn't think I'd know English.
Yeah. What was that like? So I was in a different side of it where I've always been, like, racially ambiguous. So everybody thought I was black except for black people who thought I was Mexican. And then, like, but then they were like, wait, you don't speak Spanish? So then, like, what are you? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So, like, and like you said, it was, you lucked out with McCallum growing up there, but how much of like an assimilation thing was it when you did go to Corpus and you were surrounded by a lot of, which I imagine a lot of people up from the Valley, people in Corpus, there's a lot of first generation Mexican people straight up from Mexico are going to that school. So what was that more difficult?
In a sense, like not. I felt like it was similar to how like it was when I was growing up in Austin, mostly because like there were a lot of like Mexicans or like Hispanics, but there were also a lot of like not Mexicans and Hispanics who just like didn't like, I don't know, it just felt like just strange because you're never like equally one thing.
Yeah.
Like you're Mexican American, or I'm Mexican American because I was born here, my parents were born in Mexico, but you're never like enough for each side. So being in Corpus, like the people I went to school with were also like in that same kind of boat, but there are also like some people who would be like, oh no, like you're not Mexican because you were born here. And I'm just like, well, yes, I was born here, but also like my parents were from Mexico. Like I'm like both, and it took me a minute to figure out that like not that I'm not Mexican, but that I'm Mexican American because I was born here. Because I just assumed I was Mexican because my parents are Mexican, and I am Mexican, but like that half and half of like I was born here but raised in that culture, and my parents were born and raised over there.
Yeah.
So it was different.
I mean, especially with the added like sprinkle of the fact that your first language was Spanish.
Yeah.
Like that's for you until like what, you're like 5. You're just like you wouldn't have known the difference if you were first 5 years in Mexico, first 5 years in America. Like you grew up in a house, your parents are Mexican, you're learning Spanish, you're eating Mexican food.
Just doing the whole thing.
How am I not Mexican?
And
welcome to Browntown.
Exactly.
And it used to really offend me when people would be like, no, you're not Mexican. And like, and like it would offend me and like confuse me. Cause it's like, well, what am I? Like, what do you mean? So it's.
I never thought about it like that. I guess because again, it's with the Black culture, it's like not everybody gets to claim somewhere of Africa because don't know where it's from, and that's such a like. I was gonna say interesting, but it's not interesting. It's
messed up.
Messed up. Yeah, thank you for catching me on that. Because I couldn't come up. It's messed up for people being like, nah, you ain't Mexican because you're not born there. It's like.
But like that's why I feel like it's really important to like just be one with my culture, because like yes, I am Mexican and I do love my Mexican culture and Mexican music, food, and all that stuff. But it would also like, I don't know if it would rub people the wrong way, but it also like make people like be like, really? Because my parents are also bilingual. They learned English whenever they moved here, but they speak fluent Spanish. Like a lot of my family is. So a lot of like my teachers would only think that my parents spoke Spanish, and it was. And until like they realized that my mom, because my mom works for the district, she has a pretty good position there. It took a while to realize like, oh, like Martell, like us and your mom, and I'm like, yeah, like that's my mom. So they're like, oh, like she speaks English, like what, like what?
Yeah.
Like yes, like
surprise.
Yeah, surprise. Like yes, I do too speak Spanish, and I do too speak English. But
that's just annoying.
Yeah.
Man. And was there ever a point in time where you're just like really try to like lean into one or the other? Like when you're growing up?
Especially like I grew up playing violin when I was 7.
Yeah.
And it was through like another outside community place, and there wasn't that many like people that looked like me. There wasn't that many brown people.
Even then, I don't want to cut you off. Like the fact that your first violin experience was the orchestral side, right? And not mariachi?
No. Yeah. No, and that also shocks people because I didn't start getting into like mariachi. My grandpa plays vihuela. Okay. And he sings and stuff. And he used to always be like, oh, like, échate un huapango or something. Like, I don't know, like, how to play huapango music, you know? I mean, now I do, but, like...
Mozart?
But, yeah, I'm like, what? And so he'd always like tell me things like that, or oh, like you don't know this one. I'm like, no, Grandpa. So like that would make me feel bad too.
Yeah.
Like I don't know like mariachi music, and I didn't until I moved to Corpus when everyone did, and they'd be like, oh, you play violin, like come enjoy mariachi, and I'd be like, oh well. Like there wasn't a mariachi program at TAMU until like me and my friends made it.
Really?
But yeah.
Shout out.
Shout out Camilo. But like there wasn't one, but all my friends played in different groups, and they'd be like, oh, like come out and like play. And I'm like, well, like I don't know, like mariachi music. So I like feel a little not ashamed, but like embarrassed, like to say that, because like how are you gonna say you're super Mexican and not know mariachi music, you know? So my friend was like, no, just come. Thankfully he was a cool dude, so like it was fun, and like I learned, and I was able like to be with my friend Camilo and like start up the mariachi program there, and that was really cool. But yeah, mariachi was not my first experience. It was chamber music.
Yeah. So okay, but sorry, I cut you off. Your first experience when you were 7.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what I was talking about.
Just the first.
Just
being the Mexican.
Yeah, just being the
Mexican. The only Mexican probably in the room.
Yeah, almost all the time.
Yeah.
So there was definitely times where I like kind of watered myself down, like to not be like super Mexican and try to like fit in with everyone else, because a lot of them started when they were like 3 or 4, and they knew like a lot of stuff, and I was like 7-year-old me like stressing about music theory, like what? Of course I'm stressing over music theory, you know? And it was a cultural shock, like to be in that situation. But like I loved it. My mom never let me give up or anything. So like I stayed in there, and the community group was really good about like just showing all kinds of culture. So like I did always feel connected like with who I was, but there was definitely times like when I tried to make friends, and I didn't like. I kind of tried to be someone who I wasn't, just so that I can kind of fit in. And it took me a while to like just be true to who I am, and like not let people change me, or like just be proud of who I am and like where I come from. So yeah.
Yeah, man, that's gotta be interesting, just being in that world of, because I don't know, just and this might be just a like an ignorance standpoint of just not a whole lot of Latin Americans, Mexican Americans in the orchestral world.
Yeah.
In general. And do you feel like, I mean, you kind of answered, but you have to try harder in that world, just to like be not viewed as like a mariachi or what have you.
Or even like being like a woman, like
that's you.
It's just oh cool, like you're Mexican and you want to do classical music and you're a woman.
Hey bro, maybe not.
So I always feel like I have to do a little extra, like to be like no, and especially like being short, like no, you can't just come in here and like step over me, like that's not how it's gonna happen. Yeah. So some people, especially like in college, like they'd be like, oh, like you're kind of rude. I'm like, no, how am I rude if I'm telling you not to touch my stuff? Like we're using this room.
Yeah, I'm just not letting you be like aggressive towards me. Like I'm just like, no. I didn't. Yeah, now that I'm like talking it out loud, like you really did like get the short end of the stick on a lot of like you're just like I have to struggle with a lot more things than you should.
Yeah, especially like whenever we would get gigs in college, I wouldn't really be offered them a lot, but I would be offered like babysitting, and that would like make me so angry. And like the last time I was like, no, like I'm not gonna babysit, and I really did need the money because of course I was a struggling college kid, but I was like, no, like
to make a point, man.
And I'm not doing that. And the teacher was like, well, like I'll pay you extra. Like no, like you can call me when you have a real job for me, but like I can't babysit. Like that's not just who I am.
Yeah,
that's not my value.
That made me so angry, dude.
Yeah.
That is such garbage.
Yeah.
That how many times did that happen?
A couple of times.
A couple times? Jeez.
So, yeah, no.
Well, I mean, shout out to you for making it here now, man. And, like, now you said you want to get the master's in either conducting or or more education. What would be the reasoning for one or the other?
Well, what I really want to do, TAMU program was really good, like really great, like the education part of it. But like the music education, there wasn't like a standard like music education part. So I really want to be like a teacher who teaches music education to like people who want to be teachers. Okay. So that's like the all-time goal. So I want to go get my master's and then maybe more and just teach teachers to be teachers. Teach kids to be teachers, you know?
I got that. I definitely had that same idea. And, well, my entire idea of being a college professor is very disjunct and doesn't make any sense. But because I want to be a music history teacher, but of hip-hop.
Ooh.
Yeah. But also teach the salsa bands and marching band. Doesn't make any sense. But I feel like college is the only thing that's going to... would allow me to do all of that. And then also be like I don't think I would want to run the education part of it, but I want like be a part of it.
Yeah, like being an observer who like observes student teachers, or no?
Yeah, more of the observation things, like be in, because did you have at Corpus, like what was your last year of your degree? Like what did you do?
The fall semester we did like field basing, where you would go twice a week. And then take classroom management, which, like, I didn't know that a lot of schools don't offer classroom management.
No.
No?
I'll say I didn't take that class.
No? Well, it's because when I got hired here, they're like, raise your hand if you took a classroom management class. I was like, oh, like, yeah, duh. And then I was like one of the only hands. I was like, oh, put that away. But yeah, classroom management was awesome. Like, my professor was like the best. And it was really like, eye-opening, I guess. Yeah. Especially like with my first year, I kind of felt like a little bit okay because he made us do like all those sample letters and stuff. Like my handbook was already made from college.
Nice.
But going on, yeah, we had classroom management and field basing, and then spring we student taught and did special population class. Which is like the special pops that you have in your class, like SPED or 504, like.
For real?
Yeah.
Dang. I didn't get that. I wish I had.
Well, you went to Texas State.
Okay, hold on. Hold on.
You like floated
Watch
the
yourself
river. Now. Just kidding.
We can fight.
Oh, okay.
We can fight about this. No, that's interesting though. I didn't realize that. Again, I didn't realize that was a different class.
But I came up here to student teach.
Did you really?
Yeah. You can do an out-of-district student teaching, and I knew I wanted to come back to be in, like, the Austin or Round Rock area.
Gotcha. And
in Corpus, like, when I field base in choir because there wasn't that many, like, there aren't that many orchestra programs, and they make you, or they don't make you, but if you're doing it in person, it's mostly required to have a master's degree to be a teacher that's getting observed. So.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So
I thought you were gonna say that you as like an observer needed a math. I was like, wait.
No, how does that work?
Yeah.
No. So I did choir for field basing in an intermediate school. So it was just just sixth grade. It was just sixth graders. Yeah. And that was fun, like starting the year and all that stuff, like seeing how it goes down. But it wasn't my thing. And at that time, I didn't even know what my thing was because I thought I wanted to teach elementary. Like, really? I was I'm going to teach elementary. And with the choir class, like, whenever I would get observed, like, from my clinical person, she would come down and we would do, like, elementary lesson plans with the choir class. But that obviously didn't work out. I ended up coming up to Round Rock and student teach here. And I did elementary, and within the first couple of days, I was like, this is not what I want to do. And I didn't get to teach middle school orchestra, but you do like halfway elementary and then halfway with the high school. Well, I got high school, so I went to Stony Point, and I like fell in love. I was like, this is what I meant to do, like teach orchestra, because my personality was not meant for elementary.
That's a special kind of person to teach elementary, man. Like, it takes a special kind of person.
I just couldn't do it.
don't judge me on this, but I was watching a TikTok of a
Oh, what?
a TikTok.
The TikTok?
I don't have the app yet.
Okay, yet.
Mad disappointed, dog.
They pop up on my Facebook sometimes, and sometimes on YouTube.
Sure they do.
Not yet. It's not my phone yet. There was an elementary teacher like just doing like online like kindergarten stuff, and she like was like, "Everybody get ready, we're gonna do." I was like, "Oh man!" And she had like little signs for like turn on your mic and stuff like that because they're pre-K. They don't know.
They don't know what's going on.
Like, I was like, "Oh my god, I think this is bad." That would be so much worse.
My
Different type of energy, man.
Yeah.
Different type of energy.
we did a lesson with the kindergartners, and it was like copy the movement of like the animal, and so like a kid would be like, "Oh, tiger," so they'd be like, "Oh, roar." One kid said like cat, and they were literally going like meow meow, and then I was like, "Wow, like this is not it." Like, and of course the teacher was like,
do
"Yeah,
this."
like meow," and I'm just in the corner like meow.
I just love that moment of you with the cat kid. You were just like, "No,
Nope.
This
Like,
ain't it, dog.
cat kid,
This ain't
really?
it.
I can't do this."
20-something 4-year-olds meow. Like, I can't do it. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Not me, dog.
Yeah.
Not
So.
me. And I think, who did I talk about this with? I think it was Cameron.
Cameron, yeah.
Yeah. The first time, like, I kind of got dipped into teaching for the kindergarten, like, it just went to garbage in like 2 minutes.
Oh no.
Just fell apart. Like, kids all over me. A kid needed a Band-Aid. A kid was hugging my leg. Somebody was screaming in the corner. Am I getting stories mixed up?
No. No, we won't talk about Band-Aids right now. Well, why do kids need Band-Aids so much? I don't like how often they need
Okay.
Band-Aids.
Oh, hold on. Go on that, because I feel the same way.
Well, why do kids
I don't
need-
ever remember needing a Band-Aid
Right.
when I was a
Right.
child.
You just-
Unless I like fell on the playground, but like
Like, I remember
randomly in
distinctly
class.
needing, like, I was bleeding.
Yeah, like
unless you're like straight up
bleeding.
bleeding, then you don't need a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
But for some reason,
Yo, I even got high schoolers coming up to me like,
can I get a Band-Aid?
"Can I get a Band-Aid?" I'm like,
It happened during the game. A kid came up to me and asked for a Band-Aid. I was like, "This is a high school football game. What are you doing?"
"What you need a Band-Aid for, dog?" Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Little
know
things
why.
that anger me?
But the Band-Aid thing.
The Band-Aid thing
Band-Aids.
angers me.
Yeah. I don't
know
give
it
them one
shouldn't.
unless they're like bleeding. I'm like, what do you need a Band-Aid for? My finger hurts. What?
It's just a weird thing. I remember my first year of teaching, I was like I never had Band-Aids then.
Yeah.
I was like, why does everyone need a Band-Aid? Like, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Things, yeah.
So,
I feel you. Things that definitely bothered me from that kindergarten experience. But yeah, I just remember that first time, it was just a nightmare. And then the teacher came in and she had this one single chime, and she like played it, and then like all the energy in the room like sucked out, and everybody was like eyes on her, and like gave instructions, and everybody just like to their seats, and I was like, what did I just witness? What is
How
going?
do you do that?
And I was like, I can't do that. I'm never gonna be able to do that. I can't teach elementary. I'm out, dog.
Yeah.
This ain't it.
We had this thing called Panther Pride, and you would give one out every class. Like, if you were, it was like, put a finger up if you were participating appropriately in class, if you're acting responsibly, like, I spelled out paws or something like that, or panther, I don't know. But it was a really big deal in elementary school. And you would give one out to a kid who was being like a all-star panther, and the kids would like cry, like straight up, because the teacher would like try to give one to each kid.
Yeah.
So if one kid knew like he was coming up, but he didn't get it that day, and another one did, he'd be like, I'm so sad because I didn't get a Panther Pride today. And I'm just like, oh, well, try again next time. Like, I don't know. Sorry,
Regardless,
bud.
Hey, bro. Oh well.
Try harder.
This kid's 7.
I know, right?
Just like, try harder, bud.
I'm sorry, bud. Try again.
Come again next week, and we'll see what we can do for you. Yeah. See,
So
again,
comforting.
Yeah.
because that's what I want to say.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't say that to a 7-year-old. So that's why I don't teach elementary.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. And I can't talk in a high voice all the time.
Yeah, I can't do that either.
Yeah.
As you can, as it is well documented, my voice does not. And I remember my elementary teacher, like my elementary education teacher, was like, "Nah, dog, you're gonna have to sing up in your falsetto." And I remember the first time I sang up in my falsetto, because like I'd been teaching classes already, like teaching like the things here and there. But I remember we did like this singing thing with my third graders, and I even told them like, "Heads up,
Heads up, y'all.
What you about to hear come out of my mouth?
this is gonna be different." And they were just like, "I don't understand anything that's going on in with this." And then the elementary teacher was like, "Yo, dog, just tell them like you're like a hippo and they're like a bird, so your voices are gonna be different." So I was like, "Oh, word, okay, yeah."
I am a
all right.
hippo.
I got hippo voice.
I got hippo voice, and you got small little bird voice. Got it. That makes sense. And then of course, like the next day, I said that, and like the kids are like, "Oh yeah, all right,
Like, oh, okay, Mr. Bonilla.
yeah."
I know my animals.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So you gonna sing and we just sing the same thing? Got it, coach. And they did. I was like, man, y'all told me I got you. Get out of here. I'm just a hippo.
I got hippo voice.
I mean, I was literally told during one of my elementary classes that like I to go practice because I didn't like my thing wasn't good enough. Like,
Yeah.
my voice exploration exercise wasn't good enough. He was like, "Go outside in the hallway and go practice." I was like,
Yo, that's rough.
"Yo, what?" First off, no.
Dog, I did practice, and this is where I'm
I tried so hard, I couldn't do it.
I can't.
Like no.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not gonna work, dog. Not for me.
It was. I thought. I was like, I'm gonna be an elementary music teacher, and then I actually went and student taught. And I was like, man, this ain't it, man.
Just kidding.
Yeah, please say psych. Like no.
Oh, right
I was
on,
like, man, I got six more weeks of this.
I enjoyed it. I had a great teacher, and I learned a lot from her. But yeah, the most of what I learned was like, this ain't for me. I'm not good enough to teach this. I do not have the energy to teach this every single day. Shout out to all the homies that are doing it, and they're killing it. Because I think every elementary teacher I know that like is like, nah, I'm gonna teach elementary. They're like banger programs.
Yeah.
They're killing it. They're like,
Shout out to them because
what was it like growing up in Austin? Like, what was that experience just in general? Just because it was always a visit destination for me. When I first moved to Texas, it was just like, yeah, like we're gonna go to Austin.
Yeah.
And so, what was it like growing up in an environment that was viewed as a more destination spot?
I mean, I love Austin. It's just like now growing up, it's changed so much.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like stuff that's not there anymore. Like the hospital I was born in actually isn't even there anymore.
For real?
Yeah, for real. So I was born downtown Breckenridge, but it's not there anymore. But I love Austin. It was fun growing up there. Going to school there, especially because there's so many like places you can take students like for field trips and stuff like that. For orchestra in middle school, like we got to go play at the Capitol and like do a whole day there. Yeah. And then I remember in elementary school we did this thing called Explore Austin, or Explore UT, where we had it was like a scavenger hunt around UT. Yeah.
That seems mad dangerous
So,
for middle
like,
schoolers.
It was we had like groups with like chaperones and stuff.
Okay.
But it was like really fun. And then doing like the Chamber Music Center was good too because I got to go and watch a lot of music that I didn't like. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have even known like that different types of music existed or like had the exposure of like going and seeing live musicians. So we got to do a lot of that stuff too. But
man.
it's good. I like the city because it has a lot of like diverse and culture in it, and just being able to like to go out there and explore. So I really liked growing up there.
And I don't know if you said it previously, but like, how did you end up getting into orchestra? Was it just mom's? Was it that thing? Like,
Yeah, we lived when my parents were still together. We lived in Cedar Creek, But I went to Cedar Creek for like 2 years, and my mom still worked in AISD. My mom used to be a parent support specialist, which basically like helps parent engagement and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So she used to go out and like find different things for parents, and she actually found Austin Chamber Music Center, and they were offering scholarships.
Okay.
And she like put it in the boxes, and everyone got one, and I ended up getting one as well. And she was gonna go take me to it, and we actually missed it. We missed like the deadline, yeah.
Oh.
And they're like, "Well, still come and see. Like maybe we can help you out because like we couldn't afford it."
Yeah.
So we went, and they showed me all the instruments, like the cello, the bass, the violin, and everything. I was like, "Oh, like I want to play violin." Like I don't know why. I don't know. I just said I'm gonna play it, and I did.
That's the one.
Yeah, I was like, I want to play violin. That's what I'm gonna do. And my mom was like, you don't want to play cello, like, or like something like that. And I was like, nah, like I want to play violin. Like that's what I'm gonna play. And we did it, and everything was good. And we were actually gonna have to pay like a portion because I didn't meet the deadline.
Yeah.
For a scholarship. Well, a kid ended up moving like out of state.
Nice.
And they called me and my mom, and we're like, hey, we have a full scholarship spot if y'all can be down here today at 1. And my mom was like, yep, on my way. So we went, and ever since then, I had gone to Saturday Academy from 1 to 4, and it was an hour of music theory, an hour of coach, like chamber coach, and then a private lesson.
Dang.
Yeah, so
That's pretty
it was
dope, man.
awesome. But still, I was growing up, so I think it was 7th grade. I just didn't want to do it anymore. I was like, I don't want to carry my instrument around. Really, this is ugly case. Like, I don't want to do it. And my mom was like, well, you already got your scholarship for summer camp, and you're going. And if after 2 weeks you still don't want to do it, then fine, we'll talk about it. But for now, get ready, get in the car because we're going. So I was like, okay, fine. Carry my instrument all bad, and that was like that summer camp. Just like there's a no-brainer. After that, I was like, "Yep, I'm doing music. I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna be a teacher. Like this is it. Like,
Dang.
yeah."
7th grade.
No, it was 6th grade. Sixth
grade?
grade. I was
Sixth
like,
grade?
but that camp was intense. It was like 8:30 to 5 every day for 2 weeks. And it was like chamber music, percussion stuff, improv. Like I was able to do violin jazz.
Shout out.
Yeah, like it was super cool. And then every day after lunch, we had some formal concert. So we got like a concert every day that we got to see.
Oh, that you witnessed, not were a part of. I was like,
No.
wait, what?
No, every day after lunch, we got to watch a concert
Yeah.
of some group that would come. And every weekend, we got to go out and watch something. Like they would take us on Friday or something like that. So after that,
Dang,
I was
man,
like,
that's awesome.
yeah, and they were they're so good to me. Like I owe everything to them because obviously we couldn't afford it, but they told my mom, like, if you come and help and work, like serving all the kids lunch and snack, like we'll just we'll pay you, but we'll take her tuition out of it. So she ended up still getting paid, and my tuition got. Did I do something? My tuition got paid for.
Everybody punches the mic once.
My bad.
Shout out to you. I think you made it the longest. Out of everybody.
It's because I've been keeping my.
Nice.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. But yeah, so that was that, and
That's awesome, man.
I stuck to it. I quit in middle school for a little bit because I didn't like my workshop director, but then I went back. I told my mom, I was like, I'll just be in choir, but I'll still like do the ACMC on the weekend, and she was like, fine, like if you really feel that bad about it. So I was like, okay, and then I went back to orchestra.
Nice.
But yeah.
Dude, that's what's up.
So.
Couple like final questions for you because I got a meal prep for the weekend. I think we all have grades due or something.
Yep.
When's the end of the 6 weeks?
Next week.
Next week.
Thank God. Okay.
Oh yeah. So
No, wait,
we don't
no.
got anything to do.
No,
2
we
weeks.
have 2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Oh, say less.
Yeah. Next week's 3-day weekend. So.
Oh.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Say less.
It's
Asleep.
it's your boy's day, Mr. Christopher.
Oh.
Oh.
Mr. Murder.
Oh. Yeah, Mr.
Bobby
Murder.
Schmurder out there.
Bobby Schmurder.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Plus, if that means do we get 2 back-to-back then? Because we always get the end of the 6 weeks.
It's a work day, yeah.
So that's it. So in 2 weeks is the 3-day.
No, this weekend is a 3-day. We don't have Monday. We have Monday off.
The 12th,
and then the next.
No, well, that's what I'm
weekend-
saying. Is usually we get the Monday off at the end of a 6 weeks.
We don't get we don't get it off. We get a weird
Well, work day.
But we don't. Yeah, we don't get students.
I count a work day as an off.
off. Yeah, because you're
'Cause
not
yeah.
the stress of teaching
Yeah.
is gone.
Yeah.
What? I gotta go to a meeting. Whatever.
Yeah, we get 2 of those. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thank God.
Ooh.
I mean, I still gotta wake up at 4 to get my workout in, but it'll be nice to wake up at 4 and then like casually get into my day.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to 4 into morning rehearsal. Anyways, so being Mexican,
That I am.
it's a very important question.
You're gonna ask me something dumb, aren't you?
How did you know?
Duh. Come on, I'm not gonna have this anticipation built up over some serious question.
Right.
It's not what we do out here. If I have a serious question, I'm just like, yo, so like, let's talk about this. No, come on. Flour or corn?
Okay.
And
first of all,
what dictates the difference?
I just want to say that I don't like tortillas. But, okay, I know I said what I said, okay? But listen to me. No, listen to me.
I'll let you
It's because
argue your point that is wrong, but I'll let you argue it.
it's because with every meal that we have in my family, there's tortillas.
Well, duh.
We're eating steak, tortillas. We're eating enchiladas, tortillas. Like, I was just done. Eggs, tortillas.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong.
Like, always
check.
tortillas. But anyway,
Did I cut out again? No, I think it's good.
Very good.
All right.
if we're eating breakfast tacos, they're flour.
Yes.
If we're eating anything else, they're corn.
Okay.
Unless it's fajitas, because fajitas is either one.
All right.
Because I like flour tortillas with fajitas, but
I feel that. Yeah, I'm
I
more
didn't
of a
even
flour.
I didn't even think about like that. Like, cause every time I eat tortillas now, I always eat it like
tortillas.
Hey, man, this-
whatever.
this black kid from Allen. What do you want from me? All right.
I can only do so much. Anytime I always like use like flour like in the morning, and then like corn is always better at night. I didn't even
Yeah.
think about that. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you're eating like tacos de pastor, you need to
Ah.
get them on corn.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh yeah, no, you're no. Yeah, you never do flowers with pesto.
no. But I've seen some people do that, and I'm just like, who raised you?
I mean, I'll do it. Well, okay, I'll take this. I'll say this. If it's pastor that's not like freshly cut, then I'll take it on flour. But
I was saying no.
well, I'm just saying like if it's because I'm thinking of like a taco shop in San Marcos where they had like the pastor that they did on the grill that they cooked it like that. So it's not even technically
Oh.
pastor. It's like more of like
It's not like the revolving.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I was saying. Like freshly cut off.
But no, like barbacoa has to be
Yeah.
on corn though.
Oh, yeah.
Right, but that's still a breakfast thing.
That's
And carnitas,
like I've had barbacoa on flour. And
it's just it's,
like I'll eat it, but it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
it doesn't feel right.
like I feel like, why? Like why would I do this? You know?
¿Por qué?
Yeah. No.
Borracho, refried or black.
Okay, first, I don't call them borracho. I call them charro beans. Also,
that's
like
what I thought. Yeah. Like,
I make the best charro beans. Like I'm just gonna say that. Y'all can come for me, but I make the best charro beans.
Why didn't you make them that
I
one?
would say, why haven't we had your charro?
No, okay. One time you came over and you didn't want my charro beans, and then that time you came over,
should've
Art
put-
doesn't like beans, so I didn't make him that time. Yeah, he doesn't like beans. It's weird. He's from Laredo. Yeah, but
Well,
he
you
is.
said you don't like tortillas, so
Yeah, my mom was like los dos chiflados. Like literally, she said that. She's always like, no sé qué se pasa, no le gusta tortillas. I'm like, well, he doesn't like beans, so
what's up, mom?
yeah. And she's like, chiflados, los dos.
Okay, so charo.
Charro beans,
All right,
yeah,
and
they're the
then
best beans.
favorite fajita.
Beef,
Okay, strong.
yeah. Come on,
When people get shrimp, I always get confused. Like,
because they're not really like.
it's not fajita
yeah.
for one, and two, like if you're gonna get a shrimp taco, like it's a different build. Like I'm not gonna build a
A shrimp taco
Shrimp
with guac.
yeah.
Like,
What are we doing here? Yeah.
No.
Like it bothers me that Chili's does that, or like these other-
Papacitos does that too. Yeah.
Papacitos, any of those things.
Yeah. I used to get people upset when they used to order shrimp fajita, and there would be no like actual fajita meat on there, just be shrimp because that's what they ordered. And then we like, you forgot my fajita. Like, didn't you order the shrimp fajitas? Yes, this is the shrimp fajitas.
That's if you want the shrimp and chicken.
Yeah.
fajita.
If you want to add some shrimp on your fajita for 2, we can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, any like closing thoughts, final. I was gonna say accusations. That's a terrible word.
Comments?
Final comments.
You want to call out?
I object.
Any final comments, final thoughts, anything that you want to shout out, anything that you want to plug.
No, just thanks for having me on here. It's always
man,
a
for
pleasure to chill with y'all.
Yeah, dude, it's been a while. I don't think you still haven't had any of my food, and that really bothers me.
I know.
And now that I'm officially like on this bodybuilding program, like don't think I'm gonna be cooking for a while. Like
That's
on
so
Monday,
sad.
Monday I got this 10-week camp until December 19th. Yeah, so
Well,
I
finally have a fridge.
might make dinner for y'all and just like I'll eat my steak and salad in the corner.
No. Hey, we like chicken salad.
But yeah, man, it's been a pleasure. We didn't even get into anything about serving, which I know that you did a lot of,
Yeah.
and that's a shared experience. But I mean, definitely gonna have you back on another later dates. I think it would be ridiculous if we had her and Kelsey on at the same time. I think that would surpass Connor Roseman wildness.
Let's not do that.
Maybe one day.
Let's do that.
Oh boy.
That's a special episode. Maybe for like Christmas. I don't know.
Oh god.
For Christmas, you're welcome. You get me a
God.
Kelsey for Christmas.
Oh god.
Anyways, thank you very much for being on the show.
Yeah,
Evan,
thank
as
you.
always, thanks Big Dog for taking care of us. Everybody that's stayed with us all the way to the end, appreciate y'all. Thank you. Love y'all. Peace.
Bye.
Thank you.